to be episode 2. Today we're going to talk about today we're going to talk about demons. We're going to talk about angels, and we're going to talk about God. We're going to talk about saving by Jesus Christ. And I'm fucking with you, because that's some bullshit. But it's going to be about certain topics, like living with a demon in your house. And I don't mean like nothing, well, in a way, you feel me? Because there's a third eye, so it is spiritual. But in the same manner, it's it's the mind state of a person that could be that way, you know? Like white people, y'all love to bring up Hitler and shit. Like that's y'all slavery, I guess. I don't know. Y'all be trying to be welcome to the party or some shit. But it's like people's mind states that you live with could really be fucked up. And I know a lot of people know that. But that's what a demon really is, like on this earth. You feel me? Not just no red-faced devil monster, which even on earth that's true, because some people still got them red devil faces. So it's like they kind of put it in your face, because people actually do got red faces and look like that. But at the same time, they don't. So it's like, you know, there's truth behind everything you see, every message you see. But I want to talk about, like, the evolution of, like, mind state and, like, you know, demons. Let me explain something here, all right? There's a thing, as above, so below, right? Like, my fingers, they point up, right? But they go both ways because they're also connecting to my hand, right? They're going out from my fingers while also going into my hand. That's as above, so below. So let's, you know, or if you put it in wage, right? Let's say you make $7 an hour down south. You come up to New York State, you make 15. Now people might be like, oh, that's good. Well, whole time it'll be better to like grind up here and make that, then go down south, so you'll have more money, because you know it just adjusts to the living, you know. And like again, down south is lower towards the equator, up north is closer to like, you know, like the fucking what's that shit, Arctic Circle or whatever. You feel me? It's more colder up here, so temperates and people, the way people act is different. Because you feel me, upstate, what if it was hot all year? Like, it would just be insane. Like, the city would literally be insane if it was hot all year. But it's like, the moral is that I'm trying to say from that, well, not the moral, but, you know, I'm just trying to explain your consciousness and thinking of it. Like, okay, you feel me? You could get what I'm coming from, right? Now, I live with a demon in my house. Like, I live with a demon in my house. Like, a literal demon. Like, you see, this is how you differentiate a demon from, like, a regular person, right? Like a pure demon from a regular person. You be with your family or your friend or whoever, and y'all have, like, the same thought. Like, that's divine unity. Like, y'all having the same conscious thought at the same time, and you don't think like, that's not coincidence, basically, is what I'm saying. So, there's some people who you could grow close to them, right? Or think you're going close to them, and they don't experience that, and they look at everybody else experiencing it and be like, yo, what's going on, blah blah blah, I don't understand, da da da. But it's like, this person is such a fucked up person to where it's like, even if they wanted to, they most likely couldn't experience it. So we give people handouts and help them experience things like this, like a ride, you know? Like, if you tell somebody you could help them, like a roller coaster, like, oh, say I'm too scared to get on a roller coaster. All right, boom, I'm gonna get on a roller coaster with you. Okay? I don't understand the thought that's being said. All right, I'm gonna explain the thought to you. You know? So, you feel me? And people go through things, you know, like every girlfriend I had, damn near. You feel me? It's like, yo, these dudes is crazy out here. And it's a lot of women hate, it's a lot of men hate, and it's just like, we ain't getting nowhere. We ain't getting nowhere going either way. So it's like, fuck all of that at the end of the day. Love is the only law end of the day. You feel me? Like, some people that die, like, if you'll kill over something, then that means you'll die over it, right? Basically, that's what you're saying. Because, right, say $500, for example. Let's say 500, right? Like, I just killed somebody, or I just took 500 from somebody, right? Now, if somebody does it to me, like, you know, it's like a reap what you sow type of thing. It's like, if you're willing to die for nothing, or if you're willing to stand for nothing, you'll die for anything. Like, if you're willing to die over a green dollar, you feel me? Like, if you're willing to kill or steal from that, then that means you're willing to die over it. At the end of the day, them dollars don't mean shit. It don't mean shit. In this society, it may do, but that chase is never going to end. It's never going to end. Like the bank chase, you know? It's like, yo, that chase is never going to end. That's why they name these things that. It's never going to stop. It's never going to stop, because money does not stop. Okay? Now, on the other hand, we got love. Like, money, it's a motivator, but it doesn't really motivate me the same way. Like, money isn't the motivation. It's what I can do with that money in this society to get to where I need to go and be sufficient in myself, while also being able to take care of others that I care about. So that's a moral, you know? Like, it's like the morals and the boundaries. Like, that's what makes you love and makes you natural to the earth. Because if you're fighting against the earth, then, you know, like if you're chasing money, because money is a man-made thing, like the green dollar is a man-made thing, for instance, then you're chasing against the earth. So you're fighting against nature, chasing something that man created, essentially, right? And through that chase, it never ends, which is why the earth is in the condition it is. Like, there's a scene from this game, one of my favorite game series, called Metal Gear Solid, right? In part 2, like, it blew my mind as a kid playing this shit. I was like, yo, what the actual fuck? It was like the conspiracy, like, basically, you get through the game, right? It's called Metal Gear Solid 2. Part 1 is the best one, but part 2, I like the story, like the message of the story, because it just relates to real life. It's just like, yo, it's a lot of information out there. It's nothing new under the sun, you feel me? You may think you learned something new, but somebody done already learned it, type shit. But it was like at the end of the game, he was basically saying, right? Like, okay, basically, you at the end, right? And you talking to your commander, because you're a soldier, you're a covert soldier. Nobody can know that this mission is being done. Even the president don't know on some shit. So, end of the game, right? You're talking to the man. Mind you, through the whole game, you could listen to the character's thoughts if you want to. Like, this is a new feature type shit, but that's besides the point. But it was more like a free thinking kind of thing. It was like he talks to you and he reveals that this dude isn't the commander from the last game. He's like a program / like reptile. Cause in like the 5th part of this game, there's like this mission where it's like these people who take human bodies and basically become them, like a body snatcher, you know, like things like that. And it's like, where do these things come from? Because if I don't see it in real life, like most people think, if I don't see it in real life, then it can't be true. But they'll suspend their belief to watch like a TV show or a game, and they'll expand their conscious to them levels to understand and be able to process those things. But when they come back to reality, then they'll just be like, oh, they'll wipe it off, which is bizarre that you could even put your thought into that and then come back to this and think that it can't exist. But basically, he was like, yo, you've been following the mission without thought. Like, you know, games are pretty much linear, and that means it's pretty much one way to go. You feel me? It's the side objectives, but open world games. But this game is a more linear game, and you can explore a little bit, you know. But he's like, you've been doing this mission and without thought. Like, somebody just gave you this mission and told you what to do, and you just did it type shit. And he's like, you know, we're in a society. Look up the AI scene, the AI interrogation scene. I think that's what it's called. He's like, we're in a society where people nowadays, like how I was saying, the world is getting to this destruction. People nowadays need a helping hand. Like most people, this is why it's like, you know, as a people, it's like, can we use capitalism Low key, because a lot of people are in a society to where they feel they've lost themselves. Like we've all lost themselves in this society that's not ours. So in that, and losing ourselves, we've become like them, you know? So that's why they think a lot of people would need that guidance, because if we ruled society, only because the people who are ruling society aren't natural to society would we not know how to rule it in the way that it needs to be and nurture the way it needs to be. Like a babysitter. That's why it's like, oh, you're not smart enough. It's like, basically, you're not smart enough to rule society. You need people above you to do it, because look what the earth is into. And it's like, they defy you, though. I mean, they defile you, because it's like, y'all put us in a position to where we're at right now, and for us to not be able to rule. Like, this isn't the status quo. So this isn't how society was before this certain group of people got here. You know? So they put us in a position to where it would be like that, and we wouldn't know how to rule ourselves. And it's like, we can escape it, and that's the game. Like, this is like the game, the Matrix. It's like, it's literally a game, because it's like, the more knowledge you get is how you win. Because reading is fundamental in this world. It's almost damn near as important as breathing, because the more you read, the more you know. The more knowledge you get, the more smarter you get, and the more you understand, and understand things. Like reading books and shit, all that shit is important. You get the etymology, you understand why things are named in certain ways, and you understand the origin of names, whether they be familial or a company name, commercial name, you know. And then you'll be like, okay, I get it now. I understand now. I understand. And once you get that understanding, then you can go on to the next process and actually make a difference. Because end of the day, with all these people who are acting the way they are, if we don't stand up and make the difference, like, then we're gonna be stuck in the same place. Because some people learn all of this and they just think we're fucked now. Like, they're like, yeah, which we low-key are, but at the same time, it's like, if you don't get yourself in a position to get out of that, you're really gonna be fucked. Like, you see, it's a lot of black entrepreneurs rising nowadays, which is good for us as a community. And it's like, the moral that I'm learning from them is that low-key, some people do need that guidance, because they're ignorant. And ignorant isn't a bad thing if you don't know you're ignorant, you know? So I don't be getting mad at people, because I understand the ignorance. And it's like, you feel me? That's just the cards that person was dealt with end of the day. And look who they became because of that. So it's like, fuck it, end of the day. Fuck it. Because I'm not going to judge somebody, because I'm in a position to where I can maneuver past that, you know, or however it may seem or look to be. So it's like, if you don't make the change for yourself, ain't nobody about to do it for you. And if shit goes down, right, it's the game of life or death. You feel me? If shit goes down, what are you going to be able to do for yourself and your family? Because like I said, these people who aren't here are on the pathway to the earth's destruction. And what's going to happen to the people, right? And what's going to happen when, like, say, for instance, food runs out? And, you know, all these questions have been asked before, but it's like, y'all not thinking about really the consequence. Y'all thinking about it, but y'all not, because y'all think that, you know, some people think, oh, we've been waiting for so many years, he ain't never coming back. But the moral is that, you feel me, we have free will. So, like I told you, the fingers go this way and they go into my hand, right? So the devil, like, if there is a God and a devil, and let's say the inference, God lives in the sky and Satan lives in the ground, right? That's the same as this. Like, I'm pointing up to the sky, God's up there, and Satan would be in my hand, for instance. Or if I did this, then Satan would be at the bottom of my 2 digits and God would be in my hand. So either way it goes, you know? But we have free will. That's the thing. Like, you can literally do anything right now. money, some people feel like, oh, I can't do this because of money. And then that's when you limit yourself, because you making money your limiter, even though you have the potential to do whatever the fuck you want because you have free will. Money only limits you if you think within the realms of money and think small. Like, focus on you and the skills that you have. That way, when shit does go down, you'll be in a position to have and be able to, like, feed yourself and do whatever you need to do in the times that are coming. Because I seen it, and it's like, yo, it's inching by closer and closer, and most people will be destroyed because of their ignorance, and the signs will be there, and they just won't be getting them. They just will not understand what's going on. And when it does, it'll just be like a oh shit kind of situation. And it's like, what do we do now? Like, everybody's head is in their ass right now. Like, all people who will understand all of this and haven't done anything and just think like, oh shit, it's shit. Then you're like, it's like you're damning yourself, because it's like, okay, it's this way, but it's like, what are you doing to change it though? Like, it doesn't have to be this way. Like, it doesn't have to be this way still, because if you put in like the work with all the time that you had, then, you feel me, then you wouldn't really have any grievances to make, because you just be valid either way it goes. So it's like, it's kind of fucked up, because, but it's all like it's God, because it's like, yo, we could say, yeah, they fucked up, because these old niggas could have been in a position, especially the ones who know. But the ones who really know already did it. That's the thing. Like, the ones who really know what's going on already put themselves in that position, because they already know what's coming. They already know what's coming. So, it's like God and the devil. The moral of Adam and Eve was that you have free will. So it's like, if God's in the sky and I look up in the sky and I don't see the devil. I mean, if God's in the sky and I don't see God in the sky, and I don't look down and see the devil in the ground, then it's like, I'm the only one here. I'm in the middle, right? Like, I've heard people say this is actually heaven. I've heard people say this is hell. And it's usually how it starts. That's usually how it starts. It's like, some people start in heaven, but they won't make it out of here, because they think their heaven is being rich, and they think that just by being rich they'll be good. But whole times they don't have any morals, and they had to capitalize on so many people who are ignorant just to get rich, that they don't have any morals, so they're just rich with nothing to show for it. And it's like, what did you do for your hood? What did you do for your community? What did you do for anything besides yourself? Because when I get rich, I want to make sure that I'm sufficient. And once I'm sufficient, then I'll be able, after I'm sufficient, then I'll be able to take care of other people. And after it's levels to it. Then I'll be able to take care of other people, take care of the hood, take care of everybody who actually cares and everybody who actually matters still. You know? That's my goal. I want to be able to look up in the glass, like look up at the ceiling, there's glass, and I can look at the sun outside and look up, walk in the backyard and just see fucking nature. I don't want to see buildings. I want to see trees and breathe easy type shit, you know? That's my goal. Now, everybody's goal isn't in line. Some people think this shit is never going to end, and they just think, 10 years, I'm going to own a business. And yeah. You're going to lose your soul learning that business fucking around, because you're going to, I'm going to go pay with this shit with my palm. Like, that's normal. You feel me? Like, some people they're sleeping soldiers. They're sleeping soldiers. It's like Winter Soldier from Captain America, or like MK Ultra. Look up MK Ultra. There was a movie about it too. It was a good movie. Like, it's basically brainwashing. Like, you're programmed, because every thought isn't your own. Like, these thoughts that I'm telling you still aren't your own. But in a way it is, because I'm you. But in a way it isn't. That's the duality and all of this. That's why I be having like a lot of fucking like internal dialogue with myself, because it's a lot of duality in the world. And the goal is to essentially make sure that it doesn't blend and become one. Because when it becomes one, then you just lose sight of everything. But when you divide it, then you'll be able to say, okay, this isn't this, and this isn't that. And that ain't this, and that ain't that. You know? Why the fuck is this raw so, like, ew? Like, ew. Maybe I should say fuck the raw, right, guys? Hell yeah. What the fuck? But, you know, it's like the devil is around you at all times, but God is too, because God is nature. Like, if you want to personify him as a man, cool, bro. That's cool, bro. Because at the end of the day, he couldn't personify as that if you choose to personify as that. And like, if we, as a collective, you know, it's as above, so below. So it's like out there, it can be that, but in here, it can also be that as well as something else, such as I choose to incarnate as a man, to forget that I am God. In that way, through living in the devil's playground, being that I'm God, he has to give me like aid, and I have to give myself aid, because end of the day, we're experiencing two things right now. We're experiencing like nature and devil, and that's when God chooses to, you know, in a way become both, because he manifested. And then people lose, like, they become atheists, you know. Like, nah, I don't believe in none of that. The whole time you are that is existing and believing, because you wake up every day. You don't just die. Like, have you ever thought about what comes after death, or like, you know, things like that? And a lot of people don't. And that just leads to like downfall, because then it's like you don't have any morals in terms of, like, you know, some people lose their morals doing things. That's how like artists sell their souls. Like, it's more like a selling your morals, and you could do that knowingly or unknowingly. Like say for instance, let's talk about movies, right? Like, let's talk about the 7 deadly sins, like gluttony, you feel me? People get fat, and that's their sin, you feel me? Like that, it experiences their self as gluttony, right? But then you have people who lust, right? Like in high school, right? That's the thing about high school. Like, it's not even like, it's a fucked up environment, because all you basically encouraged to do is have sex with as many girls as you can, and you feel me? That's what makes it go, oh, you don't got this, you don't got that. But when's the last time you've seen a movie and they've had sex to have a kid, or they put protection on? You feel me? That's the thing. That's the programming I'll be talking about. Like, back in the day, sex was like a ritual. Like, we about to just have kids. This is, you know, it's for fun, because you feel me, your kundalini rises in your third eye, boom, you feel that. It's like a high. But it's like, yo, in these movies, they don't encourage that. Even in school, they don't really teach you enough about, like, your body, the other person's body. It's just like a taboo topic for some reason. But it's like, damn, at least when we seniors, when we actually 18, can y'all teach that? Y'all teach it in 9th grade, but y'all don't really teach it to the fullest extent. Y'all only go over small things and shit like that. Or encourage us not to do certain things while in the movies we watch. Those things are encouraged. It's like, oh, fuck a condom. I just seen in the movie. Da, 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 da. Or even the positions they be in, because it's a movie, you feel me? They faking the shit. So it's like, what the fuck am I even watching? And then watching porn as a kid, that shit scar you. Like, all types of shit, and that be like, you feel me? And it be like, damn, what the fuck be going on? It's a lot of distractions, and the devil was at play. And you feel me? It's the good and light walking at the same time. It's like the dark and light is walking at the same time, because every time the sun shines, it casts a shadow. So it's like the duality is always there. And all that goes to say that, you know, every day is pretty much the same day. think about it like that. Every day is damn near the same day. The sun rises, the sun sets, the moon goes down. It's all the same day. We repeat the days though, because it's all Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then somehow, some way, somehow, we do the same week next week, even though we just did it. So it's repetition, essentially. And then if you take away that, and if you take away the clock, and like how they programmed you to think and measure time and divide it, because they don't really use, they use the astrological aspects because they study the moon, sun, and stars, but then they divide it, in certain ways to break people down. Like, oh, fuck, now you waiting out for 60 seconds. For the last minute, you got to clock off, or you waiting the last 30 minutes, and you're like, oh, I got to wait 60 seconds, 30 times. You feel me? It's time traps. Time traps. You feel me? You getting $15 an hour, or you get 18, 30, 40, 50, 100. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it's like, if I get paid $45 an hour, what about the last 15 minutes? Because it's like every dollar is pretty much a minute, essentially. Think about it like that. And it's like, I don't want to be, you feel me? Like, that's a program. This Witherspoon punch is so fucking wild. I ain't even gonna lie. This one part just won't lay down though. But fuck it, that shit still punching. Ooh, can you roll like that? Can you roll like that? You can't roll like that. You can't roll like that. I'm the scroll god. You can't roll like that. Maybe you're a scroll god too. I don't know. But it's like, even this, it's gonna be a program. It's gonna be a recording. Like, my energy is in it. It's been captured type shit, but I'm not really there. But I am at the same time. Because nothing ever really dies. Because your thoughts and memories keep it away. See, this is what legacy is, right? Like, people die every day and nobody tends to care. Because, it doesn't really affect you. But it's like we're locked in that state so much that it's like death is so nonchalant to us. And it's like we've been dying for so long. And we're in a society where we're getting killed now. Like, we're not fighting our own people anymore. We're getting killed now. And it's like, yo, we just talk about it like it's nothing. Like, yo, I could jump off a roof and nobody will care. Right? Or it'll be on the news, and then it just becomes bad dialogue. Like, yo, you heard about the dude who got killed and da-da-da-da for doing da-da-da-da. He was 16, don't even know his name. Just know he was black, and he was 16, got killed for whatever reason. And that's just like another black body. You feel me? The major shit when I was little was Trayvon Martin. That shit sticks with me to this day because we got the same birthday. And I'm like, yo, that could have been me. It really could have been me, and it could really be any one of us. And we talk about it so nonchalantly to the point where we talk about killing our own people now, nonchalantly, which is bizarre. It's like I'm in fucking Bizarro world with Superman and shit. Like, I got the, killed Superman. You feel me? Like, the backwards talk is like it's backwards talk. He's like Yoda, some shit, but weird though. It's like, what the fuck?